Lions get a huge road win and a big bounce back win after coming off that loss against the Bucs at home. Brant, what stuck out in this game that made you feel a little sliver of promise? Like, yep, this is the team that we thought they were. And is there anything right now that is kind of looming over this team that you still feel like we don't have answers to through 3 games?
Dave, first of all, I want to read a YouTube comment because I feel like it feeds into your question. This comes from @Campbell8884. And he said, the Lions need to adjust to the way defenses are playing them. Rams and Bucks both took a page from the Bears last year and are bracket covering the middle of the field. More reps for Tim Patrick should help a lot with that. Hopefully, he can be the same sort of downfield possession safety valve Reynolds was for us last year. And I feel like that point is well taken, that the Lions are getting things taken away from them. JMO with another disappearing act, this weekend. Cleveland Raymond, not existent. Tim Patrick, nothing going. It's either Amon or, Sam Laporta also missing in action. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown right now in the running game, and there's not much else to be there, Dave. The defense really stepped up on Sunday, and they got after Kyler. They made life difficult for him. It felt like the Lions are playing with fire again, Dave. And I understand this is the NFL, and a win is a win. But yes, the Lions are missing some key things right now. And I think getting the ball to some of your other receivers is really going to open up a lot of things for this offense. They kind of feel like they escaped Arizona, and like I said, it's already the NFL, and you take any win that you can get your hands on. But it wasn't pretty. Thank God for that defensive line and what they caused on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm most optimistic about is the defense. Like, shout out Aaron Glenn too. Like, man, he has really made some improvements as a defensive coordinator over the last few years here in Detroit. This defense looks good. They look really good. They look disruptive. They look like what we all hoped that it could be. And I think the most promising thing is this is far, far, far from a finished product. And you got a lot of new faces on the defensive side of the ball, and it's looking pretty good already. And so for that, yeah, I'm feeling super encouraged. I mean, Brant, Arizona wanted to run the football. James Conner has been one of the best running backs in the NFL to start the season. He was non-existent on Sunday. Kyler Murray, we talked about him, last episode last week going into the game. It's the ability to contain Kyler Murray, to not let him keep extending plays, and they did exactly that. And really, they forced Kyler to get uncomfortable, and when he gets uncomfortable, he was just chucking the ball up there, hoping Marvin Harrison Jr. made a miracle catch, or they would draw, a defensive pass interference on Terrion Arnold, something. But it looked like a hope and a prayer type of an offense. They looked disrupted, and that was absolutely key. I think on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, they need playmakers. They need this offensive line to gel, especially in pass protection. Jared Goff looked really good in the first half, had concerns in the second half. But the promising act is, once again, you got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery looks like a top back in the NFL.
He's the starter on this team.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're beating around the bush. He is the starter on this team. Jahmyr Gibbs is great, and the hook and ladder play was awesome. That was really cool to see. But he needs to be, Jahmyr Gibbs is not the starter for this team, and it's just David Montgomery's playing too well right now. It's the Khalil Mullings, Donovan Edwards situation at Michigan.
And he doesn't need to be. That's the thing is, like, Jahmyr Gibbs does not need to be a bell cow back. That's not what he's designed to be. So you complement his game with the perfect running back in David Montgomery. And that's shout out Brad Holmes to seeing that and putting those guys together on this roster. That run game is absolutely dominant. And to be honest, as a Michigan fan, it's fun to watch how that looks in the NFL. But this cannot be a run game and then just safe passes to Amon-Ra St. Brown because he's your safety blanket. Like, where is Sam Laporta? We know he got dinged up, returned. JMO, like you said, disappeared. There's no other wide receivers out there that are making plays or stepping up right now. So that's going to need to improve here, over the next few weeks, and I hope it will. I think my biggest concern, and this is probably an obvious one to anyone who watched the game, is just the injuries. Um, Losing Marcus Davenport for the season, losing Derek Barnes, Brian Branch. I mean, I know it was a concussion, but that did not look good. Sam
That looked really
Laporta,
bad. That was a
that
bad look.
it was bad. It was bad, and Sam Laporta dinged up, and it's like that is something I mean, the injury thing is just so like such a nuance to even talk about. And I did talk about it before the season started of like health being such an important thing because truthfully, Brant, when you think about the playoff run that the Lions made last year, they were very healthy. They were a very healthy team to make that NFC run, and they're going to need that this year. I think that my concern here is, what does the depth look like, and are these guys ready? To step up. Do we have guys? I know it's the next man up mentality, but is the experience there? Like, I've got some major question marks. I am very optimistic about Aiden Hutchinson is having a defensive player of the year type of season, and it is just incredible to watch. You're going to need, whether it's Josh Pascal, I don't know where James Houston is. Levi Onwuzurike, dude. I mean, they have been hyping that guy up for like a long time, especially since training camp, and we just haven't seen it for health and variety of reasons. He looks awesome. DJ Reader looks great. I mean, that D line is super promising. And I will say, when Derek Barnes goes down, Jack Campbell stepped up, and
Jack
he had to
Campbell
step
had a
up.
great game. He
Oh
really did.
yeah, and that's without Barnes and Anzalone in there. I mean, he had a really good game, and so yeah, I feel optimistic that this team is going to do what they're gonna meet the bar. I think to what everyone is expecting they will do, but they've got to stay healthy and they've got a big game coming up. I mean, it's the NFL, man. There are no weeks off, right? You got Seattle that will come to town. It's going to be insane in there in Ford Field on Monday night. Brant, let's talk the spread here for a minute. Have you taken a look at that? And can we make some predictions here in this Lions segment? And before you hit me with that, if you're listening right now, like, follow, subscribe, hit us down in in the comment section. Let us know what you think about the upcoming game. Questions, concerns, confidence that you have in this team right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, the line is set at 3.5 right now. Obviously, Monday nighter. Detroit will be that place will be rocking. However, Seahawks come in undefeated, and the Seahawks are probably the hottest team in the NFL right now, Dave. The offense looks great. The defense looks really good. They just did to the Dolphins. They punked the Dolphins. Obviously Skylar Thompson's playing out there, whatever, not Tua, but I think this team presents major challenges for the Lions. Geno, he came into Detroit last year and just dogged them. And Detroit has seemed to have a problem with, I wouldn't say like running quarterbacks, but mobile quarterbacks seem to sometimes give the Lions just issues. And you know what? Geno's not just a mobile quarterback, he's a smart quarterback. He doesn't give you many of the takeaway opportunities. Seasoned veteran guy, and the weapons on the outside, Jackson Smith and Jigba's coming into his own. DK is still DK. Kenneth Walker looks like he's going to play this weekend. And if they don't play him, Charbonnet will fill in just fine. So I think that this team is going to really challenge this defense, and the offense needs to be able to score with them because I don't see the Lions holding the Seahawks to 13, 17 points. I think this game's in the 20s easy, Dave. And I actually like the Seahawks with a 3.5.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the Seahawks have had the Lions number here these last couple of years. I mean, I think it was 2 seasons ago they came in and dropped like 49 points or something crazy on Detroit in Detroit. And so, yeah, that's a good football team. I mean, it's crazy when I think about like who we're talking about: Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. Like, what is going on in the NFL right now? But here
Baker
we
Mayfield,
are,
like the best
Baker Mayfield, right? Right. Let's bring back Johnny Manziel. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like this era of quarterback is whatever. It's cool. I'm going to take the Lions to cover 3.5. I think it will be close to that. I could see them winning like a 24-20 type of game, something to that effect. But I like the Lions to cover here. I think that I'll be surprised if they drop back-to-back games in Ford Field. And I'm not saying you said you're predicting a loss, but you take Seattle with the 3.5. I just think the Lions are going to have enough juice to get this thing done. And, they've showed me that this defense does look for real. Now, if they struggled against Kyler Murray, I think I would have a different prediction here against the Seahawks and Geno Smith, but I'll take the Lions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say about the schedule real quick. I mean, potentially the Lions have opened up against 4 playoff teams. It's very possible. I understand that the Rams, they came back and beat the 49ers on Sunday, but, without Puka, I don't know if they're a playoff team exactly right now, but they'll eventually get him back off of IR. I just think that their schedule has been just tough, and it's going to continue to be tough because I know a lot of people have been in our comments talking about how this division is actually mid. I don't believe that. I think that this division still is a top tier division. The NFC North might be the best in the NFL. So I just think that the schedule is going to stay as tough as it is right now, and it's going to be a fight and a scrape every single weekend, Dave.
You might have the third best coach in this division, and that is no slight at Dan Campbell. But that's not a hot take. I mean, Kevin O'Connell getting it done with Sam Darnold, Matt LaFleur getting it done with Malik Willis, not having his starting quarterback. I mean, these are really good football coaches, and that's not anything against Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's clearly been an outstanding coach, but you could easily argue that, right?
Luckily, Matt Eberflus is the worst coach in the league, so at least he takes dead last. He's 32 out of 32.